Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.
And good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Iris Podcast. I am your host tonight, MisterYeti. Welcome, everyone. Joining me tonight is Wooly and Fish. How are you gentlemen doing today?
I'm doing
Pretty good
good.
today.
Welcome, guys. Welcome. I know a lot of you tuned in expecting to see Navino tonight. Navino has found himself about 4 or 5 drinks in, so we're going to let him be. But
Unbelievable.
nonetheless,
Professionalism.
we're going to go ahead and get this ball on. We got a big show today, lots of stuff to talk about. We'll kick it off as we always do here on the Iris Podcast with a segment we call Amp It Up, where we talk about your favorite segments from last week, what's to come, and make some bold predictions that you're sure to retweet. We'll start off with your favorite moment from last week, Wooly.
I got to get some bias in here. Bronze banter. It was a great cast. We had a lot of fun, and people were annoyed at us, which was great. Love to see that.
Build your purpose already. Bronze banter, by the way. Saturdays,
Exactly.
10:30. A deep dive into Harmony. A lot of fun. And Fish, what was your favorite moment from last?
It's a little bias here. I gotta give it to my wife. Haydenator 1-2 playing all 3 roles in our match.
Fair enough. I can respect that.
Lucio OTP on Bastion, crazy.
There you go. Haydenator mixing it up there, playing all 3 roles. My favorite thing, again, a little bias here. This is the bias podcast. You just get over it. You got a problem, you can tweet about it. I don't really care. Do it. New production package. Huge shout out to Laggy and Aura, and obviously some help along the way from like Hippie on that. Putting together a fantastic production package. Not a whole lot has changed. It's not like an aggressive change, but some of the map preview scenes are changing. The overlay on the actual match is a little bit different, a little bit more sleek, a little bit more unique, and kind of standing out from everybody else who kind of uses this broadcast package. Really, really cool. Definitely excited about that. Wooly, what are you most looking forward to this week?
I missed it so much last night. It's after scrims tonight with Thuggington. It's such a good show. The one time it was on, I had a great time. And Thuggington is hinting at some really interesting stuff this week, so I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a little bit about that coming up here very shortly with things got coming up, got cooking on Sunday night. That's at Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, guys. Really cool show. Just get down with just Thuggington there. Kind of your late night variety show with your man. Fish, what about your thing you're most looking forward to this week?
Seems like just a big plug segment, but I'm gonna go with the Silver Slander. Excited to see those guys talk about it. They definitely got some good chemistry, seeing as they're pretty much all friends. So I'm excited to see that one.
Silver Slander is going to be a lot of fun. That's Thursday after the feature, right? No, Tuesday. Is Tuesday after the feature? Thursday. Tuesday. Thank you.
After the feature.
Yes, I have it written down. I just need and that's a lot. But yes, Tuesday after the features. Slander should be on there.
That's my bedtime.
Yeah. What I'm most looking forward to this week, there's a lot of really cool matchups coming up here, but I have to say I'm excited to see some of the teams that we did last week actually get to play. Because there's a lot of teams, unfortunately, we had a few late pulls out of kind of sucks, but we didn't get to see teams like Space Created, SEAL Team Spuds, Fighting Potatoes. We didn't get to see any of them play. They finally get an opportunity to get out there and play. And then last but not least, some bold predictions for the remainder of this season. Wooly, take us.
They're starting to get a lot of hype, and I'm just going to keep building on it. Clairvoyance in the grand finals.
Clairvoyance in the grand final. Sorry about the mic cutting out. I'm going to work on that a little bit here, folks.
Sorry.
No, it's my microphone, not you. So don't that. But I'll work on that here. Sorry about that, guys. That being, so Clairvoyance. A lot of hype about Clairvoyance right now. People predicted them to lose this week pretty badly, aimbots, and they answered those critics with a lot of gusto. Let's put it that way, with that 4-0 win. So. Fish, what about you? What's your bold prediction?
Well, when you say bold, I'm going all the way. I'm all in. Billings Boomers are winning trans tier. I Toasty Toast, Janos, Silvertulse, Mango, they're winning it all.
Definitely a very based podcast right now. The Billings Boomers, often seen as that third marsupial team in Transcendence tier, even though
The little
Guangzhou
brother
isn't
will
marsupial,
rise.
but whatever. Often seen as that third. Yes, third. I said third, A-Plum.
GCG Marsupial?
Yes,
No
yes,
way.
no, yeah, GGC marsupial. That I know they're not, but a lot of people see it that way because they just don't listen. I know. Hey,
He's mad.
come on, bud. No, I'm
He
with
got
you
out of
on this.
Marsupial, but now he's labeled back
Yeah,
in.
no, you're just back. You can't escape
You
your
can't
past.
leave.
Navino will be
He's
in your. Never mind.
Tracked.
Navino will haunt you. But anyways, I got a bold prediction here. My prediction right now is regarding Elite Angels. I know a lot of people are excited about this season coming in Transcendence tier. A lot of hype about this team with players like Velzen and Ribdis, Telm, Horus returning on that team. Problem is it just doesn't seem to be working quite yet. I hope they do because I like a lot of those players. But right now, my bold prediction, they aren't making champ bracket. They're not going to be a top 8 team by the end of this season. So
He said it, not me.
bit of a bold take there, and I'm probably going to
Yeah.
probably pissing off some of my friends a little bit on that one. But hey, you know what? Whatever. It's the Iris podcast. We're not here to make friends. So, all right. Really quick before we continue the cast,
Yeah, I'm
I want to
stepping
talk.
back from that one.
I want to talk about what's coming up here over the next several weeks. So every other season here in Tranquility, we have put in several members of our community into the Tranquility Hall of Fame. So what the Tranquility Hall of Fame is it's our way of honoring the people who helped bring Tranquility where it is. We started as a little tiny grassroots tournament of 12 players, just with random, boomer volunteers who got bored and wanted to make an Overwatch tournament because their friends were sick and tired of being mocked in comp, which we're still getting mocked in comp because we're all still bad, but that's not the point. We're getting past that now. But what Tranquility has become, obviously, this crazy thing, nearly 100 teams, 3 different tiers, briefly into EU as well. So we've obviously grown massively, and there's still so much more to come. But it's our way of paying a ton of respect to the people who helped us. A lot of people in Tranquility, part of that Hall of Fame. Going back to C1, have kind of the 4 OG players who kind of helped build Dunzo, Nerdables, or Elzen. Then obviously tons of staff, myself, Cav, NPC, Thug. You have great players in there as well. Rocket, Courage, Zuby, Manzi, Ice, Capital, Cryptic 4. Ton of very awesome people who have given a lot to the community. There's also other contributors too. For instance, Booth, obviously what he did for our Twitch environment as well. Door, who many of you have now seen, top Overwatch casters in NA. Period. Story. Put him in Owl, please. Then you have obviously Rocket, who high probability we're going to be seeing him in that Pro-Am coming up here. There's just so much talent who've come through Tranquility, who Tranquility is part of their story and have made, they have become part of Tranquility's story. We definitely appreciate all these people and our way of our mic cutting still. God fucking damn it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm working out of here. I'm trying. I'm just going to remove my noise gate, get background noise. I am sorry. All right. There we go. Hopefully that's better. Yeah, I swore on the Iris podcast. I know. But with this group of people, it's a bunch of nominees. We have about 16 different members of our staff and members of the Hall of Fame already, prolific members of the community who will weigh in and vote on these people. They are picked based on contributions to the community, but also just being great players as well. But we'll start off with some of our contributors to the community who have been nominated this time around. These aren't winners yet. They aren't in the Hall of Fame yet, but these are people who are in the nomination pool. So as contributors, we have Nerfed, who's obviously been awesome with Bronze Banter, predicting, tons of stuff working with Trank, helping out just in so many different ways throughout their time here in Tranquility. Nagi, who's done tons of editing work with the content team, just an incredible overall contributor to the community. Smarties, Transcendence Tier Director, has been involved in so much work with Event Week and just a huge part of keeping this community moving forward. Glitch, recently promoted to Assistant Tier Director, but always has been just a massive contributor to the community, Discord especially. Bowsy, there's not much that needs to be said there. Bowsy, amazing caster, amazing content work. Bowsy, the spreadsheet from last season, of course. Gios, who's been a long-time contributor, been in Trank since Season 2. So really, really, really awesome. And also the person who is heading our Valorant expansion coming up here soon. So hang tight on that. Juke, a lot of you probably don't know Juke. Juke was basically the guy who brought our production into the modern era. Before he showed up, we had a very, very scuffed setup. So Juke, obviously just incredible, really brought our production into the modern era. Caden, tons of editing work, huge positive influence on the community overall. Laggy-san, obviously current Twitch manager, producer extraordinaire, made this current package. Not much else needs to be said. And Triage as well. Triage has been a moderator here in Tranquility from Season 4 to Season 8, I want to say. I believe that was correct. And obviously, he's one of our Event Week contributors. Probably the most important contribution to Event Week, other than everything that goes on charity-wise. But, of course, his rendition of Go the Fuck to Sleep that puts us all to sleep at the end of Admin Pugs. Well, not at like 11 p.m. on a Friday night. I'm pretty sure most of them are. It's yes, I swore again. Go the fuck to sleep. It is, yeah. If you haven't stayed up for the end of Admin Pugs and seen the rendition of Go the fuck to sleep, just tune in and enjoy it. And then last but not least, the players. I'm going to go through this list a little bit faster here just because there's more on this list. But we have, obviously, Cry, former MVP, multi-time champion. Same with Marf on here as well. Asdo, again, multi-time champion. Multi-time champion, MVP. Didn't mean to skip him, but Chobi, major player here in Tranquility, obviously hugely successful with the Galactic organization. Greninja, longtime player here in Tranquility and manager as well. Multi-time all-star. O Canada is I'm just reading chat right now and loving it. O Canada, great story behind him. He was on Alpha, and O Canada had a perfect regular season record for 2 straight seasons in Tranquility, which is unheard of, and a champion in Tranquility as well. Sips T, former MVP, multi-time all-star. She's an incredible player from Trank's history. Vix, again, multi-time all-star MVP. Pyro, multi-time all-star. Champion as well. QZ is one of the few people in Tranquility who have achieved the three-peat, the 3 champions, either as manager, coach, player. So QZ in rare air there. I know a lot of the people in chat are very unhappy about this, but you know, QZ's on the list. Navino, obviously, I know, Marsupial Gaming.
Sorry.
Not much else to be said there. A lot of people very upset right now.
Walking off.
Cam.
Can't believe it.
Yeah, Cam, longtime contributor to the community, obviously, and history as MVP, and obviously champion and all-star as well. Try champion, all-star, obviously Discord tier assistant tier director now, but champion, all-star, great player. And then Andy, multi-time champion as well, all-star. I think 5-time all-star. He's one of very few people, I think, in that rare air as well. So despite the fact that he doesn't have any functioning wrists anymore. So pretty big deal. All right, I'm done talking at you guys there. That's the Hall of Fame. We will have our first announcements of our inductees into this season 10 class of our Hall of Fame. That's going to come up on Sunday on After Scrims Tonight with Thuggington. Tune in for that. You will see the first inductees to the Hall of Fame at that time. Is my mic still cutting out? I hope not. I took off the noise gate. If it is, please tell me, and I'm so sorry about that. All right, so let's get into not me talking right now. Let's go to our weekly highlight montage. This one was brought to you this week by BethCon with their first montage entry here to Tranquility. So here we go.
It's Hanu. I've got you in my sights. Quantifiable result.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Oh, and the streams aren't updated with their current thing, so I'm getting them in right now. So bear with me for 30 seconds while I get that in. But again, thank you very much to Beth for that awesome, for that really fantastic montage, putting that together. We are looking for editors. So if you are interested in becoming an editor, helping us out with our montages, with our comms checks, with some highlight stuff that we also do for our finals, we would love to have you. If you're interested in becoming an editor, shoot me a DM. Volunteer based right now, because unfortunately, you know, we're not a for-profit company. We can't really pay people right now, unfortunately. So, but if you're interested in volunteering, we'd love to have you. This week we also do not have a comms check because we just didn't get enough clips. So submit your clips. Comms check. We want to do it, but we need your help. So do it. So, all right. Let's move on, guys. Let's talk about some things. No Iris top 8 this week like we usually do because it's just a little too early in the season. It'll start next week. For this week, we had our analysts and myself put together their own top 8s. One of us assigned to each tier. Harmony tier. This is, well, it's not necessarily Wooly's top 8. It might be Navino's top 8, but Wooly believes that Navino is correct and is going to set this in here. So, Wooly, if you want to go through your top 8 and give us your reasoning behind that, or give us Navino's reasoning, or however you want to do it.
Yeah. I'd change it a little bit. I'd have Koala Kings on top. I think he did that to not be biased. I think Ascend and Caden is just the best DPS line uncontested. It's crazy good. And then Doodles are always a question mark whether they're going to be good or whether they're just going to wait till playoffs to pop off. And of course, I'd have Geo up higher because of biased. I would also put Strix up in here, like towards 7th or 8th, because I think they're pretty good actually. They're playing pretty well coordinated. But yeah, sorry, I didn't even say the top 8. Galactic Penguins, KK, Flashbacks, Doodles, Geo, FBRD, Clairvoyance, and then Pause Champ. I think it's a pretty solid one though. Like, there's arguments for other people coming in and out, but it's like the first week, and those are the teams that were winning 4-0. Like, every single one of these teams won 4-0. So I think it's pretty
that's my
expected.
top 8. I did a top 8 like earlier this morning, and that was mine. So I think it's pretty good.
Definitely a solid ranking. I think it's hard to argue with right now, at the very least. Still very early on in the season, so a lot of movement here. Teams like Clairvoyance, Pause Champ, FBRD, a lot of time to move up. Same with teams not on this top 8, like Strix, for instance. So thank you, Wooly. Let's go now to the Discord tier top 8 with Fish.
Yeah, gotta put my team number 1. It is what it is. But yeah, MI7 Rev, I don't think people have any arguments about that. I think the surprise ranking on this list is Paradise Lost. But I think if you know Trank, I think it's not too surprising. They actually had the most dominant week 1 game of anyone. They did not drop a point, and they full held both on Hybrid and Escort. So they stomped. And then BDB Trig, those are the 2 teams that I believe in on other players very well. And then Cosmic and Avalon, who are the 2 people in preseason that I thought did very well. And then the streets have been whispering. They've been talking about Phoenix. So I am intrigued They're apparently quite good. I am looking forward to seeing them play against a team that I think is good.
Definitely Phoenix is kind of an interesting team here on this list. There are a lot of teams that are pretty solid in that Discord tier who aren't on this list. Teams like Pukin Dogs, for instance. I feel like there's an argument that they deserve to be here.
That was the ninth, but you gotta, it is what it is. You gotta leave. Someone's gotta be off.
Exactly. All right, thank you, Fish. And now for the Transcendence tier rankings. Those are mine. Putting myself on the line here as a Transcendence or as a deputy commissioner here in Tranquility, it's my job to not be biased and not make statements that are potentially seen as inflammatory. But here you go with my very inflammatory top 8. Devil Dukes, number 1. I was just impressed as hell with them against Fleet Angels. They looked absolutely dominant at every position. Their tank, farm, or obese chicken, yeah, they might be one of the best players in the tier already, and they've played for, they played one match. Very, very impressive. Obviously, their DPS too, really impressed with both I'm probably mispronouncing this, Nasir and Mikey on that DPS, both extremely talented. They still have Brent, but they've overcome that. But that's in response to Aplum. But no, in all seriousness, I think the top 3 is pretty solid right now. I wouldn't really go beyond that. Wyverns look really good as well. A lot of really strong BPL players in that Wyverns team. Fungin is insane. Singularity is in 5th here, and they're probably the team I'm most interested in out of any of the Transcendence tier teams, because there's a lot of players that we just don't know really anything about right now on that team, but there's a lot of talent on that team too. Tons of high masters players. I'm really curious to see how they kind of pan out here over the next few weeks. They might be the favorite in their pool right now. And then last but not least, Just Better Inc., Billings Boomers, and Reckless Delta ran out my top 8. So, as they say, our rankings are just our opinions, and we love to be proven wrong. So good luck to all teams this weekend doing that. But let's get on to our next section here, and that is some instant overreactions. That's right. It is our job on this podcast to make wild and completely based claims after 1 week of action that we may or may not have actually seen anything about. That is our job here on the Iris Podcast. Welcome to hell. But here we go. We're going to dive right in. I'm just going to kind of make a statement, and then these guys are going to react to the statements. But we're going to start off talking about clairvoyance. Clairvoyance. A lot of doubters. We talked about that already. A lot of doubters coming into this past week. They absolutely dominated Aimbots, winning 4-0. Fish, your instant overreaction there.
I think it is a very impressive win for them. I don't think it's exactly that they had doubters. I think there was a lot of Aimbots believers. I think a lot of people expected Aimbots to do really well, and they underperformed a little bit. And I think Clairvoyance played very well. They're kind of a DL team on the down low that not most people don't know about. But I think it's not, and it's like not an impossible result. I would expect them to do well, as Wooly said. Nev thinks they're going to the finals, so yeah.
That was me. That was all me, baby. Yeah, that's all.
Oh yeah, then Wooly thinks they're going to the finals, and that's even better.
I can't disagree with you on that one. Moving over to you, Wooly, though. Flashbacks, Pause Champ, both in the same group, both really good 4-0 wins. Pause Champ over Luminous Foxes. Was it Luminous Foxes? I'm probably misremembering that now all of a sudden.
Yeah, it was.
Okay,
yeah.
I thought I was having a stroke. I'm sorry. Flashbacks versus Pause Champ, or Flashbacks and Pause Champ, both with huge 4-0 wins, both in the same group. Your reaction to that, Wooly?
I think Flashbacks is a really solid win. They looked like they played really, really well. I think Luminous lost their game rather than Pause Champ winning it. I think Pause Champ had some good adaptations to what Luminous was running, but I want to see more of them. I want to see how they play against flashbacks. If they like take a map, it shows that they are a contender. But if they just get 4-0'd and flashbacks just brush them off, it, makes makes it look like week one, like a little bit like a fluke.
All right. Back to you, Fish, here. Koala Kings. I know you love talking marsupial teams. Koala Kings. They looked right back in championship form again. A 4-0 win over Chrysalis. Your reaction?
They've done it again. Koala has cooked up a fire roster once again. Paracelsus, Abraxas, Navino, they're all in the lab cooking. Heisenberg type stuff. I'm not going to swear. I don't think they have quite the roster as last year. Last year, I think they had a historically good Harmony tier roster last season, but they did 4-0, and they didn't have Ascend, who I think is one of their top players. So that is pretty impressive. So I think Koala is going to be, if they're not the favorite, they're at least second. I think you can expect Koala to be in the conversation for the team that's going to win Harmony.
All right. Now to another Harmony tier matchup here. Galactic Penguins. They actually looked fantastic in the preseason, had some roster changes come up for reasons, and Galactic Penguins, they dropped their first map of the season to Fire Breathing Rubber Duckies, who was a team they just beat 3-0 in the preseason. But FBRD took a map off them here. What's your reaction to that, Wooly?
I think FBRD looked better than they did in the preseason. I think the pickup of Vex was absolutely massive for them. He feels some flexibility roles that Cross and Sleepy G didn't have. They were both two kind of hit scan players, and then Vex comes in and he can play pretty much anything. So I think FBRD just looked better. And two, obviously, losing your flex support and putting a new one in, it's always going to change things up a little bit. You're going to play a little bit worse. So, yeah, I think that was sort of an expected result for FBRD to do better and Galactic to do a little bit worse.
Galactic Penguins still looking very strong off their preseason win, though. No question about that.
For sure.
Let's move into Discord tier now. I'm going to you here, Fish, for this one. This is... talking about the Pukin Dogs. This is a Discord team you didn't rank in your top 8, but we'll talk about that. They are in a very challenging group. That Orem Group A and Discord tier, the top 3 teams are very, very talented teams between Rem, MI7, and Pukin Dogs. But Pukin Dogs matched Rem and MI7 with a 4-0 win. So what's your reaction there?
Yeah, I expected that. I think Group A is structured in a way where Pukin Dogs will be able to 4-0 every team in the group other than Rem and MI7. And no offense to Pukin Dogs, I respect you guys, but I do think there is a tier gap between Pukin Dogs and those top 2 teams. I think they can improve a lot. I saw them in the preseason. They didn't look exactly as strong as I expected them to look.
Sure.
But I think obviously a 4-0 win is as good as you can do at this start. So I'm excited to see where they go forward.
All right. Pukin Dogs, one of our new teams in Tranquility this season. I'm going to mention it now, but I'm going to mention it again later in the cast. You can trust me on that. You have 7 days left right now in a sale on our storefront. That's right, at shop.spreadshirt.com/tranquilitygg or !store in the chat, which I just typed in for you. Go ahead and head on over there. It's 20% off everything in the store. That includes shirts, that includes sweatshirts, hats, stickers, anything you could possibly look for. If you're finally looking to continue to sleep on marsupial teams, you can buy yourself some Koala Kings pajamas, whatever makes you happy. There are so many different things: tank tops, sportswear, stuff for your kids. I've ordered my kids merch from Trank. It had a cool squid on it and my son loved it, so of course he got it. But there are several things in there, and also if it really tickles your fancy, there's also a picture of NPC's head in our storefront too. I don't know why you'd want that, but that is an option for you. So again, 20% off everything in our storefront, guys. Shop.spreadshirt.com/tranquilitygg. Awesome merch in there, and it's one of the best ways to support us is by going there and picking up a shirt. So we definitely appreciate your support. 20% off for the next 7 days. So good time to stock up. We got some magnets. They were nice little magnets too, stickers too. Anyways, I'm done talking about the store. Done shameless plugging.
No, you're not. You're gonna do it again.
No, I'm gonna do it again. I'm 100% gonna do it again. Let's talk about Paradise Lost. We talked about them a little bit. Again, they're back. So this is a team from season 8. They were a finalist. Season 7 finalists in season 7. Coming back in season 10. They look really good. 4-0 win over Culture. Absolutely dominant. As Fish highlighted, absolutely dominant. Wooly, your reaction?
I think this is pretty expected, to be honest. I hate to be a negative Nancy, but I don't think Culture is that good of a team at the moment. So I think Paradise Lost, with the name recognition, they were always going to win that. I want to see how they play against Trig, to see, like, I think those are the top 2 teams in this pool. A little bit of bias there, obviously, but I think that'll be a really interesting match. See, like, limit test Paradise Lost.
I agree with you. I'm really excited to see what Paradise Lost does this season. They're a fun team to watch. For those of you who remember season 7, they were the crazy team who played the really weird comps every week. I don't think we're seeing that necessarily right now, but they were the team that ran Roadhog Monkey. And
that's a classic.
That's based.
It was just we call it the ranked comp.
Yeah, that's just my Ilias Well games.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's very true. It was super fun to watch, and they pulled it off. They looked great doing it. So, yeah, they will cook, as Azino just said in chat. All right, let's talk about Maelstrom. Maelstrom making the return to Tranquility. Spicy Water is back, everybody. Picking up the big 3-2 win over Adrenaline. Fish, your reaction?
Yeah, I would say I was surprised. I thought Adrenaline would win this game. I do apologize to Maelstrom. I am not familiar with your guys' game. I'll pull a Shaquille O'Neal. But congrats on that win. I know you guys are a returning team, and I'm excited to see how you guys do going forward. Yeah, I think that's a good win for them, and I think they can build off of that.
Maelstrom is back, everybody. Phoenix, brand new team this season. Lots of excitement around Phoenix. There's a lot of people look at this roster, see some potential. Wooly, I'm curious about what you think, because they came in against Tempest, which is a team that a lot of people, I think, expected to win. This is a team full of Tranquility veterans, full of very talented players, but they pick up the win over Tempest. What is your reaction to Phoenix right now, Wooly?
Yeah, that's a massive upset win, and I think that's really awesome to see, like, a new rookie season team come in and take out a lot of veterans. I think that's, like, really cool storyline to see happen. I hope they continue to improve, and I'm going to go off the Novino script here. I think Tempest has, like, relies a lot on their DPS to win, so if you can shut them down, you can get a lot of the win. They need a second win condition sort of thing. So obviously that's what Phoenix did. I unfortunately didn't watch this match.
We will see a lot more of these teams, though. I have a feeling this season we'll see a fair amount more of both Tempest and of Phoenix, based on what we've seen so far. So it's still early. We're overreacting right now.
Yeah.
Right now, I think Phoenix is winning it all, and Tempest won't win a game. That's the vibe I'm getting.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, back to you, Fish. We're going to Transcendence tier. Let's talk about the Guangzhou Gangsters and the Devil Dukes. Again, I know, shame. They both got 4-0 wins this week. It's a stacked pool that they're in. What do you think about these two teams?
Now, I made this before Billings Boomer signed Tosi and Janos, but assuming that didn't happen, this is the 1A and the 1B in Trans tier. I think most people have now realized that these are the two best teams in Trans tier. It's kind of like an MI7 REM situation where they're in the same group. They'll actually be playing each other on the same week. Week 5, they both play. So I am super excited to see that. Farm is a nutcase. That's the Devil Dukes tank, if you're wondering. He's my MVP favorite right now. I know I said Cam last week. I'm changing it. I think Farm is now my MVP favorite. He played out of his mind that game. And I am super excited to see those teams go at it against each other.
The question on everybody's mind is, when Fish is next on the Iris podcast, who will then be his MVP favorite?
By the way, and Ducks. Let Ducks cook, please. I'm begging. Devil Dukes. Come on.
Dux is really good.
Real.
Dux is extremely talented at cooking runner-up finishes. So kudos to Dux. But anyways, let's. I'm thinking of Hayden, not Dux.
Yeah, you're thinking Hayden.
My bad.
They're on the same BPL
I
team.
get the BPL people screwed up sometimes. Sorry, Hayden. You're great. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. Dux has never even gotten close to second, so I don't know why.
Yeah, she did. They were on the same team.
They were on the same
against
team.
second.
Was that Hayden?
Yeah.
Was that the Hayden
Yeah.
Overwatch
Hayden
team?
Overwatch team. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That team cooked. Now that team cooked. All right. Anyways, I'm getting caught up on my BPL lore. Great tournament by the way. BPL. Wyverns. Speaking of BPL, we're going right back to the
There you
BPL
go.
group.
Good segue.
Wyverns debuted this week. Big 4-0 win over Classified. Wooly, your reaction?
Wyverns is going to be such a good team. Like BPL talent is with how the rules BPL they often roll, so they have really good understandings of how to play Overwatch, and just like how comps match. So I think it's going to be a really good team, and it is kind of expected that they pick the win up over Classified. I think they're kind of like lower mid tier, and I think Wyverns are going to be like upper mid tier. So I think it's pretty expected, but the 4-0 was a bit of a surprise. So I'm really excited to keep watching Wyverns and see how they go.
I'm really, really excited, by the way, about their about Funjin on support. Just might be one of the best supports in the world here, in the whole community.
MI7 alumni.
So talented, so much talent. All right, but let's move on to our final instant overreaction of the night here. It is regarding some newcomers, both Singularity and Revital. They both kicked off their Tranquility seasons here, 3-1 wins over their opponents last week. Good showings from both teams. It's always hard to come in as a brand new Trank team, coming into a brand new environment. A lot of teams have been here for a while, established names. They come in, they take care of business. Your reaction to them, Fish?
Yes, I think I might be the only person who knew about Singularity. I played in GGNA against them and they actually beat my team. They're good. They're a good team. I respect them a lot, and I think they'll do really well this season. Revital also won, and they beat a pretty decent team, and I'm super excited to see them play Boomers next week. I think that's going to be a banger match. So yeah, I'm really impressive for both those teams. I think Singularity is going to do really well. Don't know as much about Revital, but we will get a good limit test next week against Boomers.
All right. Moving on now to your, again, no comms check this week. Submit your comms checks for next week. Come on, do it. Please. Matches to watch this coming week here. Let's start off with you, Wooly. What's your match to watch?
Just like Fish said, Revitalize versus Boomers coming up this week. It's going to be an absolute banger. I want to see Toasty Toast. He's a very, very good player. And Revitalize coming in, new team, get the upset. It's going to be a really, really good match to watch.
Say the score.
What's the score?
Oh, sorry.
What's the prediction?
3-1 to Boomers. My bad.
Okay. We got there. Thank you, Wooly. Fish, your match to watch this coming week.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a Harmony tier slugfest, flashbacks, pause champ. Touched on it earlier. And I pretty much agree with the sentiment. I think flashback should be favored in this game. And I think if Pause Champ compete really well, it shows that their week 1 game was not a fluke and they are a top team. And that is actually my prediction. I'm going to go with a 3-2 flashbacks. I know that seems close, but I really do think it's going to be a close game. So that will be my match of the week.
My match to watch this week, it's Cosmic Castaways versus Tempest. So 2 different stories here. You have Cosmic Castaways, a lot of really low expectations, I feel like, for Cosmic Castaways because of Season 9's disappointment. After Season 8's championship, Season 9 just didn't really work out. Season 10, they come in, new-looking roster, but really what to expect from that roster? Who really knew what to expect? I don't really know. Then Tempest is a team, tons of hype behind them. A lot of people expected really big things from them, but they came out and lost last week. So rematch here, Cosmic trying to continue the positive momentum, Tempest trying to claw back in and avoid going down to that 0-2 hole early on here in stage 1. And I picked Cosmic actually to win this one 3-1. Yeah, I was not 100% certain on this one when I first take a look at it. It's going to be a good match. It's going to be a close match. I feel like it could go either way. But in the end, I'm really sold personally on Yoon and DPS. Just incredible player overall. Obviously, Aphex as well for them too is extremely talented. That DPS line I feel like is going to be able to push them over the top against Tempest. I just don't necessarily see Tempest as quite able to stand up to that level of consistent DPS play. Obviously, if there's any opportunity for Commercial to get on Widowmaker, I think Tempest wins, because Commercial might be the best Widow in all of Discord tier. Take that, Lore.
Oh, Lore's mad. Lore is fuming at that.
I know. But that said, tough to say. So, all right, that is our matches to watch this week, and we got a few programs coming up later this week here as well. We have our Predicting Tranquility coming up shortly after the show. It's going to start it's going to start right after the show, or 9 p.m. Eastern, whichever comes later. Tuesday, tomorrow, we have the Harmony tier feature, which is Council versus Colorado Carbon, the Battle of the C teams. Tuesday, after the Harmony feature, we have the debut of Silver Slander. That is your deep dive into the Discord tier. Discord tier featured, or Discord tier focused production there. Wednesday, you have the Transcendence tier feature. That is Amnesia taking on Classified. Thursday, you have the Discord tier feature match, which is Redacted versus Paradise Lost. And then on Saturday, of course, 10:30 Eastern, you have the return of Bronze Banter, everybody. Yes. Return of Bronze Banter there on Saturday. And, of course, don't forget Sunday, After Scrims with Thuggington, where we get your first Tranquility Hall of Fame inductees here for Season 10. A couple quick announcements here before we go forward here with our giveaway winners, which I am still waiting for. Poking the people who are doing the giveaways, but anyways, event week is coming up very soon. For those of you who are new to Tranquility, we run this event on week 6. It fills basically a bye in our schedule between stage 1 and stage 2. What event week is it's a week-long charity drive, and this season we are excited to once again continue supporting Rise Above the Disorder, a fantastic organization that works to provide mental health resources primarily focused on young adults who may not be able to afford them. They provide the financial services necessary for them to find the help they need. Tranquility has raised over $25,000 over the past few years for Rise Above the Disorder, which has paid for thousands of therapy sessions for people. So we love this organization. We are thrilled to partner with them again. And during this event week, we hold tons of different events that are super fun this season. Little teaser right here. Apex Legends will be part of event week coming up this season, because they have private games now. You can do Apex now. So Apex Legends will now be in your event week event package, as well as, of course, the Widowmaker 1v1. We'll have brawls. We'll raise a ton of money for charity, and of course we'll conclude it all with Staff Pugs on Friday, which is where on stream you get to absolutely destroy the staff in Pugs and teabag the crap out of us, and we'll donate money to charity while you guys absolutely destroy us. And we typically raise a ton of money on that night. We all make great big pledges based on how badly you beat us. And yeah, so ton of fun. Really looking forward to it, as always, guys. Stay tuned. Event week is my favorite week of the year, and I hope you guys will enjoy it as well. Last announcement as well, really quick, and I kind of alluded to this, but I'm going to make a formal announcement about this. Coming in Season 11, Tranquility will be expanding into a uncapped GM tier. I know it's been a very popular request. Something we tried before, didn't really work because quite frankly, we just didn't have a great foundation of GM level players. But as Tranquility has grown, their desire for that level of competition has significantly increased, and therefore we're going to bring it to you guys. So coming in next season, season 11, we will have our first foray into the uncapped GM level competitive Overwatch. So excited to bring that to you guys here next season. As for averages and all that stuff, I don't know yet. It's gonna, we don't know. Just give us time. We're getting there. But it's gonna happen, guys. So excited to bring you that. Also, of course, our Valorant expansion coming up here again, making that one more official announcement. We are expanding into Valorant coming up very soon. People are super excited about that. The big thing with Valorant, by the way, is it's going to be held. Matches will be held on different nights than our Overwatch events, because we want people to be able to do both if they want. So we're giving that opportunity to you with the combination of our Valorant and Overwatch tournaments being run. So exciting stuff all around, guys. I'm going to stop talking now because my throat's about to give out. And I've stalled long enough for the drawings right now. And unfortunately, I think the person who was doing the drawings is unable to get me the winner right now. So we will have the drawing winner announced. We might throw it in during predicting.
It's gonna be Shobi again.
Yeah, it's just gonna be Chobi again. So why does it matter? We'll have the drawing announced during the predicting Tranquility coming up here a little bit, or it'll be posted in the Discord. But we'll get that drawing done here. So sorry about that, but we'll have it out to you guys here. But thanks very much for tuning in, everybody, tonight. It's been a fun ride. I appreciate always have fun back in the desk that I had here from season 2 to season 8. Always a good time. Pleasure being here with these two fine folks for my first time partnering with them in content. But thank you very much, Wooly, Fish, and everybody here. Thank you for gazing into the iris with us tonight, and we'll see you again soon. Stay tuned for Predicting Tranquility.
Bye.
Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.